Like the thing is, the demonization doesn't quit, because for a long time, I suppose it was driven by idiot quasi-scientists and people who are maneuvering in the same domain as the food pyramid liars. But now the climate people have got a hold of it as well.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, animal-related food, while there's also the ethical issue, which isn't trivial, I would say, that's not something that can be easily ignored, or should be. But red meat is definitely it's the target of propagandists continually. And that's really not good if it turns out that it's actually useful, like seriously useful for us. And we have what's the FDA recommended daily allowance, RDA, for carbohydrates? There's no RDA for carbohydrates.
Yeah, there's no such thing as an essential carbohydrate.
Right. Which is really, that's something to be said repeatedly.
Yeah.
Because that's really kind of shocking.
It is. We have, a daily requirement for certain essential fats, certain, fatty acids like omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids.
Yep. Proteins.
Protein is massively important.
Yep.
There's no such thing as an essential carbohydrate, which isn't to say that you shouldn't eat them.
Right. But it's very strange that's not essential.
Correct. And also, you look at the data, and beef consumption in the United States has declined over the past few decades. It's on a downward slope. And yet we continue to blow up. We get sicker, we get more obese, and it's a whole food at the very least. It's a pristine source of dietary protein. It comes concurrent with, all kinds of nutrients that we know play a role in good health. It's actually, it is a source of phytonutrients. Most people don't realize this, but the phytonutrients that a cow ingests makes its way into the tissue of that animal, just as it does us. Creatine, taurine, carnitine, carnosine. These are all, I think, really important nutrients. And it continues to be demonized. Some people will say, oh, well, it's a source of saturated fat. It's fascinating that 3% of the saturated fat that your average American consumes comes from steak. The vast majority comes from what are called mixed dishes, ultra-processed foods. Dairy, which is actually, even full-fat dairy is neutral, if not beneficial from a cardiovascular health standpoint. And so, yeah, I think the demonization of red meat is a real shame, and it's a big problem.